All right, folks, welcome on back here. This Tuesday post Traders Talk edition here of our afternoon meeting. Great to have all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Great to have the latest still with us inside our live trading room. We have Michael just before, Lee, Brian. A few more of us here joining us right now, so great to see you all there. But I'll tell you what, relatively slower afternoon heading into this time of the day. Markets have been just kind of dropping off a little bit lower heading into this afternoon, starting to flatten out a little bit perhaps. But hey, SE is on the screen. Let's start off with the stock that's on the screen to begin. Great to see Lawrence, Brian, W as well here joining us. So, SE was a great stock that we put on our morning watch list. It was down big in pre-market. We just went over this in Traders Talk to a great degree. So I may as well just kind of re-ask the question for all of us here. We know the answer since we went over it before, but it's on the screen. I mean, it's hard to say otherwise. But what's the direction of SE here, the final 30 minutes, 45 minutes prior to the market opening up? Obviously, it's down percentage-wise, but what's that trend? Down. So are we seeing more buying pressure or are we seeing more selling pressure, folks, when a stock is trending down? Regardless if it's down 29, 25% in pre-market, we're seeing more selling pressure, right? So that's the trend that you want to work with leading into the open. So hell, if this ended up popping up a little bit after the open, guess what? I'm still looking for that drop. I'd be looking for that break through that big level on the way down. Now, between you and myself here, it's easy to say, yeah, after the open, this just sunk, not even a small pop. It just completely crashed. It broke below big whole number levels right away, 45, 44, and really 43 was your first big one to work off of if you were waiting the first 3 to 5 minutes. After waiting the first 3 to 5 minutes, it ended up consolidating and then rebroke 43, just led to another clean entry. So it's not as often that we tend to see such a smooth sailing stock, beautiful short, but it just kept going. And even right now, still heading into this time of the day, it's near the lows. Hasn't tested $40 the whole number just yet, but looks like it wants to get there. So SE, definitely going to put this back on top of our watch list so far for this afternoon. Hey, if anyone did well in this trade, let me know. It's easy for us to say it was a great short, but that was our intent with putting it on the watch list. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I traded this stock. I had my hands full on the DCTH, the WLDS. I'll tell you what, even from Traders Talk earlier, we didn't cover that stock, Tasha, TSHA. I was in on that too. So I did not take part in this. It could have been a great trade, though, and hopefully there's more left to it. So we had our hands tied with the DCTH. And if you wanted the full A to Z on this, again, you had to be a part of our Traders Talk workshop every Tuesday morning, not just inside our live trading room, but now on social media on YouTube. We host that there. But if you want the recording, if you ended up joining late or if you missed out entirely, we recorded it for any of our members in Cyber Group. It's on our student portal, on our student dashboard. So for Sam, Larry, Lawrence, Rick, Kathleen, etc., hey, if you missed out, it'll be there coming up just by the end of the day today. So we talked about DCTH, beautiful pop off the opening print off of 586 essentially. And even now, it's still tradable. I mean, I'm in this right now looking for a squeeze up higher. So with my stop set, should it go against me here, I'll be prepared. But I'll tell you, just because old Josh here is in it looking for a move up, that doesn't mean it's going to be on our watch list. I hope it pops. If it pops during this meeting, then I'll definitely be more inclined to put it on the list for you folks. But if you weren't in from 586, then perhaps if it could pop over 6 again, it could lead to a better trade. But it already ran its course, though. So I was looking for a higher low to be built off of. Initially 675, it dropped below there, and I took a 7-cent loss. It pulled back to 623, and I took a nice entry, but then it ended up pulling back, and I got out at like 2 cents, I think, or even 1 cent. It's a break even. Just pulled back though, and if it's not making that big move that you're looking for, it's going to keep dropping. And for as much as this ran today, it could keep going lower. So that's what we need to be very careful of here. So I'm not fully convinced of the afternoon move, even though I'm in the damn trade. I was in it from before. For the last like 15 or so minutes, I've been lingering in this trade. So you know me, I'm looking for a big move shortly after. Haven't gotten it yet. So doesn't make me as incentivized to put this on the list for you. Now, if it pops over 6 here during this meeting, like I had said, then that's a different story. So let's just go from top to bottom now. We got a bunch of these cheapy stocks below $1 on the gainers list. So I'm going to honestly skip over those. I'm not going to trade them. Grove ended up having a nice little pop earlier in the morning. I don't think we were as focused on it then. We did great with the watch list that we had. Ended up making a new high actually just before. But at this point, again, it pulled back. It looks like, well, definitely that last shake here live. That's a big shake on the way back down. So it's kind of the selling point there. Going to pass on that. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to buy in on this. Not literally just yet, but, in comparison to passing on that last one. Well, this I just stumbled upon live right now. It's trading 3.4 million shares. It got halted at 227 and 11 seconds. It's already after 5 minutes from then. So technically, this should now reopen up in like a minute or so. At 237 and 11 seconds, this will likely reopen. RETO. All right, well, while we wait for it to reopen, it's not even to check the news. It's to check if there's any big levels out on this trade. Loosely speaking, it looks to be right around 650-ish, maybe 670-ish. Could be a bit of a historical. So that's something to focus on. Let me just jump to Benzinga Pro here. I'll show you what the news is right now. I don't mind dragging this up here. All right, what was that? RETO. Losing track of the stock name already. So halted on a circuit breaker. You know that. Just volatility. Doesn't really give us really much news. This is from August 4th, not today. This is from the 15th today. So, there's no specific news headline out there outside of just the fact that it's halted. It got halted off a circuit breaker. So, again, this should reopen up really soon. Like right now, current time is 2:37. Yeah, we got like 5 seconds, honestly. Watch. Ready? Check this. 3, 2, 1, and hopefully I don't look like an asshole. Ooh, this might be news pending then. All right. Well, hey, I had my timer here. So 2:37 and 15 seconds. That is now officially after 10 minutes here. So this now could be pending based off of news. Now. Now, while you got me here, let me just double check. We'll go right to the NASDAQ HALT website now officially. RETO. Volatility pause. That's that. Not a news pause just yet. All right, so very interesting. So I guess it hasn't officially been declared a news pending halt yet, but anything more than 10 minutes usually is going to end up as a news-related halt, news pending out on the stock. Typically, it's a 5-minute halt. We realized it was over 5 minutes, and now it definitely should have reopened up. So I'm going to put this on our list either way, RETO. Hopefully it ends up reopening up during this meeting. We'll see what it does from there. All right, so Grove, we kind of talked about already. Going to pass on that trade, at least for now. Keep it going here. So let me know if that RETO reopens up, folks. It definitely should have at this point. So it might be news pending now. Lumber Liquidators had a good run earlier today, but it just died off. Ended up making just this flattened pattern here, just coasted sideways. TSAT, wow. TSAT having a nice run up once again today. This has been a low float and definitely low volume in terms of what's on the order book here type of stock. I mean, just beginning back from Friday last week, it ran up yesterday, and here we are once again today. So does the chart look good? Yeah. But again, let's not be caught up by the shiny object in the room right now. It has like a 15-cent spread or so, 12, 15-cent spread oftentimes here. So, I'm not really too interested in trading a stock like that. We would have seen the order book fill in a lot more at this point because it's already been consolidating for the last, how long is that? 2.5 hours or 2 hours now? I didn't think it was that long. Holy smokes. From 2:45 Eastern or 12:45 Eastern until now, that's like 2 hours worth of consolidation. You would have think that the order book would fill in at this point. More traders realizing, the stock's up 16, 17%. Oh, the stock's moving here well right now. If it's not happening, don't just hope for that to happen, and that's it. If it hasn't happened yet, it's time to move on. I'll tell you what, this Upstock, similar line of thinking, ended up popping at the market open, but then totally dived off. I didn't notice this trade up until maybe like 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, made the first call out on it. So as we've been watching the stock, it's maintained, a decent spread, which the buy side fills in even more than you're seeing there, but checks out. It's a great stock to follow for the meantime here up. So we'll see if this could look to break higher just, here soon enough here over 170, 172-ish. All right, so we got EOSC, nice sideless stock just over the last month or two. Ran its course, popped and dropped. So the more it dropped off, we kind of refrained from following it. A little comeback day today, I guess, but we'll pass on it now. Michael was shouting out apron a couple times earlier today. Just kind of thin liquidity out there. It made a big shake earlier. All right, so let me know if there's anything else looking good, folks. We'll hop over to the loser side coming up in just a second. Markets were dropping earlier, so of course UVXY was pushing up a little bit before, but looks like this is making a rounded top as the markets are flattening out for right now. See if there's anything else on the gainer side here before we move over. And yeah, you know what? AMC, it dipped off a little bit, pulled back a little there off of the high 380, but it made a nice run from earlier. This still could be a higher low in building. I don't mind slipping AMC back on our list for right now. See if it makes that more afternoon runner type of move. All right, so let's hop over to the loser side right now. A couple other trades I want to jump to, actually. You know what? Before I forget about it, the Tasha, we talked about it earlier, and I said I was going to go over it during Traders Talk today, and I did not. So pardon me. Let me just at least go over this right now. The stock got halted yesterday morning early, and basically the key to this was the opening halt print. When a stock reopens off of a halt, we're going to see a big print pop up on the tape. And early in the morning, if it wasn't this one, which I think it was, then it was this. It was just off of 180. That was your halt print, and it was holding under the level throughout the afternoon. And going into 3 o'clock, we were just saying, hey, retest. And then once it popped it was easy to say, but it went smooth sailing. So that's our afternoon runner yesterday, the Tasha trade. Obviously now at this point, just showing it for what it's worth, definitely flat here. So we're not going to follow this for the afternoon. Maybe write it down for your side list come tomorrow morning, perhaps. Come Wednesday morning, we'll see what it's doing. But let's hop over to the loser side here. FXLV will skip. Actually, a bunch of these cheapy stocks I'll try and just skip over there. DSGN, wow, what a short this stock was earlier today. We brought it up, the fact that it was shortable on TradeStation. Hey, let me ask us one more time. What's the trend of this stock the hour before the market opens up? Last 45 minutes, hour before the market opens. What's the trend here? Right? So that's what you want to follow first. It's not just to guarantee the drop, but that's your initial direction once the market opens. So from there, it's easy to say, but man, this ended up dropping off. Beautiful short. It's a little too flat right now. Down 70% today too. So maybe the drop off is concluded. Perhaps we'll see a small little squeeze over time, but either way, I'm going to pass on this. SE, we started this meeting off with. Definitely going to keep it on our list as a short. Skipped over a few of these here. I reckon they're down big, but hard to borrow from my side. So unless if they're like just straight down, let me know. But Jumia. There we go. Dropping off pretty nicely there too. A little slow there. I'll pass on that. Rigatoni, RGTI. I think they're called Rigetti. Not really doing much as well right now too. Kind of just keep sifting through here, folks. There's a stock that I do want to bring up. We brought it up yesterday. Just everything unfortunately happening. Catastrophe in Maui and around there. The HE trade, Hawaiian Electric. This stock just stopped me out before. I took like kind of more of a knucklehead type of trade, just getting in right off of 1670. I feel like we could see a small little squeeze here over time, and I did it on 100 shares, which is what you're seeing the quantity size right now. It's going to look impulsive to do, but I'm honestly thinking about jumping in on this trade just to test it again, because on this trade, what I was thinking of, at least from historical support thinking, probably have to go back to the weekly chart for this. You might need to go back to the monthly chart actually coming up. Bear with me for a quick second. If it keeps dropping off, then I'll be happy because I didn't jump in just yet. I want to see if this could build support off of 1650-ish to 1670. If you're Brian or Kathleen or any of us in the chat board, of course, you saw that call out earlier. 1650, 1670. There is one other little point here, 1656, little peak. So I'm kind of using that area as a potential support. Keyword potential. I wrote that very distinctly in the chat board. When I say a big level is a big level, then I have confidence in it. When I say it's a potential level, potential does not seem as strong. It's not as strong of a word to use. I don't feel as confident with the word potential. It reminds me of the word maybe or possibly. So it's an idea. But folks, there is so much, heat on the way down for this trade. We were talking about the PCG trade back a number of years ago at the California wildfires, and over time, it ended up moving up pretty nicely, led to a great day trade, little bounce from like 10-ish back up to 25. And that's just loosely speaking, looking at the weekly graph there. But the same will be said for H8. Question is when. So if it's straight down like this right now, you do not want to hope and rely on the bounce to be right now. It's definitely a strong area, 1650, but we'll see if it can make that move, whether it be today, then perhaps over time. Just an idea. So I'm going to put this on our watch list. Let's focus on the trend down, and then we'll see if it ends up making higher lows over time. If not, then obviously it's going to continue down. So we got SE, we got HE, two different tickers though. Let's see if there's anything else looking good though. Here's a short. Number 50 is down like 8+%. So this is where I'll need your help for John, Kathleen, Brian, Leda, Grant, Roberto, all of us here. Let me know if there's any other stocks that look good. Now is the moment. Now is the moment. Let me know here as we are in this meeting and scanning. I got to use a little teamwork here now. So if there's anything else that looked good or might look good from your opinion, let me know. We're always open to consideration right now. VTNR, not really doing a whole lot. All right, so I'm going to zip through some side list stocks just for right now myself to start here, like an AMD, Mara. This actually could be a good short. I think there's some news in relation to one of the Bitcoin ETFs being decided on today. There's a whole litany of them, so it's not like there's just the one from BlackRock. There's Grayscale. There's, I think, Van Eck, if I'm not mistaken. There's ARK, Kathy Wood, and all of that. So there's a whole bunch of different companies that are trying to get a ETF approved. I think one of them, it might be the Grayscale one, is getting decided on today. Mara's already down over nearly 5%. It could be a good short, but I'm not going to put this on the main watch list right now. I think there's just better trades in general. Look at a CLF from yesterday. Beautiful move. I actually didn't have the chance to go over this from yesterday. It was a great run. Same to be said with US Steel X, but right now they're all kind of just side list stocks for right now. Brian saying Brian saying the RETO trade seems to be back on. Well, seems to be back off right now. Just got halted on the way back down again. So, oh boy. All right. So there wasn't even time to get in on this trade when it reopened up. It just reopened like right now. A 20-minute halt. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So if there is news that came out, I'll let you know on it. But I reckon I'll keep this on our watch list, but this down halt right now is really not good. Really not good. So I wouldn't look to just jump in when this reopens, but let's see if support could over time build here. Rod says yell way down. Yeah, but if you can't short it, there's no business in trying to even think about trading it. It's hard to borrow really most stocks below 5. You can't really short live money. Of course you could always check, and if you get the shares, then perfect, but $1.30, a little close to the ground floor there, Rodney. So we're going to pass on that. For what it's worth, he is trying to eke back up a small amount right now, at least up towards that 1670. We'll see if support could potentially build over time on that. All right, so what do you got for me on YouTube? Let me know if there's anything looking good from, how about this on Facebook? Great to see Jerry J joining us here, one of our longtime students. Great to see Jerry. Saying Hawaii was intent. Well, as far as that, at least, we're going to follow the stock HE, and that's all we're focused on here inside our live trading room, Jerry. But great to see you at least. Doug joining us on YouTube saying, calm if it can continue over 4. Sorry if it was brought up already. It was not brought up already. I just looked at it right here. It's up over 5%, and it's at the highs. So in that regard, it's not a bad shout. I don't know if there's any real news out on this trade. It wasn't really showing much activity in pre-market. I'm going to pass on it for right now, Doug. Tradable by all measures, good spread, good liquidity, cheap, all that good stuff. But I'm going to just kind of take a stab in the dark and say I don't think it's going to continue up that much more. And if it does, then hey, if it breaks over 4, I'm sure that my colleague Rich or myself perhaps even will look to call it out at that point. All right, Doug. We got up already on our watch list here. This is from Benzinga from myself. My DCTH still pushing up here, so that's nice. Pushed above 6, broke over 6. Just out of curiosity, don't want to distract our traders here. Is anyone in on this DCTH trade over 6? Again, Jith, we brought that up during the meeting just earlier. I was like just point blank saying that verbally out loud. So again, we're looking for this to push. Charles, Xavier, Brian, John, Lawrence talked about it just all throughout this meeting earlier, folks. That was the level. We were talking about that. It was holding under it so well just before. Let's make sure it can hold above it now, not out of the doghouse just yet on this DCTH. So I'm going to promote this to being put on the main watch list here. Just it's got to stay over 6. You're saying before, Rodney, no funny business, and we had funny business. So with it over 6 now, even more so. If it's going to make a good move, let's not have it chop around 6 anymore from here. I mean, hey, just look what happens earlier today, right? Of course, it chopped around it for a bit, but once it rebroke over it, there was, at the time, no looking back. So, led to a $1 move up cleanly from there. Let's make sure that this can keep holding support now, and we're in good shape here. So let's see if this can keep going. All right, so for all of us here, Mike's saying array a little flat, but it's near its low of the day. So the flat part definitely takes me away from it. It is down over 7% though. So, don't sell yourself too short on that, Mike. It's actually not a bad shout. If you're short already, I'm rooting it on for you. But yeah, a little slow. It is down over 7%. So in that regard, actually, write this down on my side list here at least, so I don't forget about it. All right, so folks, I think that that's just about it. There's really not much else that I see that looks good on the way up or on the way down. If there's really a big pop, you know what I'm talking about, folks. If there is something really that's popping, call it out. If not, then hey, I like what we got here. SERETO up. DCTH, and also let's not forget, I put it on the list already. See if support could build, or at least for the pop up higher on AMC. So a lot of different stocks to work with, folks, and a lot of stocks that are up a lot of our skill levels here. So good spreads, good liquidities. Don't be caught off kind of watching the shiny object in the room if DCTH tries to pop again, or RETO, that crazy thing, right? So, hey, if you're Jerry, Doug, or any of us on our social media streams, just send over a quick email if you have any questions. Josh@c2trading.com. Always like to post my handle here at the end of these streams. If you're interested in joining us inside our live trading room to continue with us here, my colleague Rich will be on at 3 o'clock coming up. Just scan the QR code with your camera, with your phone, just to get access just to a small trial. But we look forward to seeing you there. And then otherwise, for Ira, Rod, Xavier, Brian, Leda, Jith, Sam, trying to catch all of us here and trying to not forget anyone here. Lawrence, Larry, etc. Got a lot of us right now. Hey, best of luck trading going into the market close, folks. I'll be in the chat board myself up until 3:30. Take care.